And I'm live. So good morning, everybody. I'm here at the McBean farm. We're snowed, well, we're iced in. So we got freezing rain. You see my short I posted. I can literally slide all over the road. And they don't salt my road. So I don't remember them ever doing it. And for the last 4 hours, we've seen zero traffic. So, and the funny part is they texted me and wanted me to come in early today because the people who run my furnace on first shift didn't come in because of the same problem. And I'm like, well, I know if I can get to the main road, which is about 2.5 miles that way, then I'll be okay. But I can't get to the main road. I don't even think I can get out of my driveway. So, yeah, we got the freezing rain. It's been freezing rain probably since about 5 this morning. And it doesn't look like it's gonna, I was hoping to get warm enough to thaw the road, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So, and of course my internet's working slow too because of that. So today we're going to make potato soup. So yeah, it's 31 degrees still. We're still into the wintry mix. So nothing is going to thaw. It says a high of 34, but it's been 31 the whole time. If it gets to 34, it would probably temporarily melt the ice off the road, but here's the problem. We got a second wave coming in at around 5. That's going to do the same thing. So my fear is I get to work and then I won't be able to get back in because when this road freezes, it ices over and you can't drive on it. Not with a car. A really heavy truck, maybe a 2-ton or heavier, will have enough weight to get traction on the ice, but a car, doesn't matter if you're a 2-wheel or 4-wheel, it is not happening. So first thing I do is I always like the Bear Creek recipe, which I use a lot. And then I add to them. So besides the recipe, I'm going to add bacon. And then I'm going to pre-cook the potatoes in the bacon. And it's not ham, it's Spam. And I will add that to it. And sometimes I add a little can of peas to it also. I don't know, do I have one up here? I have a mixed vegetables, but I don't want that. Here we go. Peas and carrots. I usually throw one of these small cans in there. So I turned it so something that makes, well, it says 8 servings, but that's like 3 servings in Scottish language. And time I add all the stuff in there, we've got 2.5 meals for both Mrs. and I. So that works out pretty good. So first, I don't need a bunch of bacon. I just want enough bacon to produce the grease for me to cook in. And then add that to the soup. Sometimes I'll also put in a can of cream of potato soup, add to it, and just kind of use the mix as a starter. I can also add pasta in there, which sometimes I do, but then it makes it really thick. And end up making a stew instead of a soup, which I prefer. So, more language in the background. So anyway, it's a cold day and a rainy day. And basically, unless things change great, it looks like I'm going to be stuck home today. I hate to miss work, but then again, I don't want to end up in the ditch. So I have this adverse of running into ditches when I know it's bad. What else I got here? Guardian Fitness. Hey, how we doing? Welcome. Hey, good morning, cousin. And I appreciate it. Never had them. They're really good, Cherber. I really like them. I do that, and I do the chicken noodle one. Now it doesn't come with any chicken, so you just have buy I have canned chicken, of course. So this is gonna be a good meal. Today is usually the day I go to the gym and bench, but that's not gonna be happening. If I can't get to work, I can't get to the gym. But I can do things at home. But I might just take it as an extra rest day, and then hopefully tomorrow I can go into full blast. It would have been nice if I was able to go into work and make the extra money. But I walked up to the mailbox, and I'll post the full-length video later. I posted a short where you see me kind of doing a little half step on the ice. So it's just too slick. It ain't gonna happen. So I got the bacon cooking. Now peel me the taters. I'm gonna chop it up into blocks, fry in the bacon. And remember, I keep all my eggshells and vegetable peelings, and I put them in the food bucket, and I dump them out in the garden. And that provides nutrients for my garden throughout the year. I don't have to buy as much fertilizer or anything like that. I try to do as much natural as possible. And then my neighbor, we have chickens, he dumps his bedding in there also, which is like great fertilizer. And if I really get motivated, I can go to the neighbor's field and pick up cow pies and put that in there, because that is excellent fertilizer also. So what we're going to do is kind of get things pre-set up. My bacon's cooking. I'm going to get the water getting ready to go. So I need 8 cups of water. And what I do is I filter it. So remember, your recipe is as good as your worst ingredient. So if you're cooking at home and you're using city water or even well water, you're adding a lot of things into it that you don't necessarily want to add into it. Well water does have a lot of potassium or calcium and iron. I still filter it because I live around farms, and there is a possibility of things being in it that I don't want it in my food. So all the water I drink, for the most part, gets filtered. Let me catch up here. You have a lot of them. No, they're good, Cherber. You will like them. And generally, it's during the winter when I'll cook up a bunch of them. But when they were on sale, and they have a Best By date on it, but it's dry food. So when they put, this is Best By February of 2024. I probably bought this 2 years ago. But I keep it down in the basement. It'll be 2026, I can still use it. So I got that going. So what I do is I just start adding water into there. It's a little over 3 cups. The recipe calls for 8 cups, but I'll probably put 10 in there because of all the additional stuff I'm putting in there. So if I don't, then it's no longer a soup, as I get accused of. And it's more like a stew. And I like stews, but Mama, remember my buddy at Cutco Company, Lucky O'Day? All right, I really like all of these knives. They're comfortable in the hand. They do what they're supposed to do. If I ever want to get them professionally sharpened, they will do that for free. And I know a guy, Steve, who used to follow me, had his for over 40 years. Hey, Ray, how we doing? You're home? Yeah, me too. Five for different reasons. Yeah, it is, and you're right. So the three things that are important for fitness, and two of them are usually overlooked or not done well, is rest. All right, you need at least 6 hours of good rest a day. Yeah, nutrition, and then exercise. You have to have all three, and then I always say try to have fun doing it. So I try to make mine. Yep, working out will do it. I used to, in my late 20s, I was having problems with my stomach and intestines. I had a lower GI, I had an upper GI. I never could figure out what it was. And I really started working out extensively, 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, and all that stuff went away. And as long as I keep working out, I don't have the stomach issues. But if I take a lot of time off, they start coming back. So really, your physical fitness changes everything. It's good for your circulatory system, for your blood sugar, for your bones, for your ligaments, for your muscles, for your mental health. There's just too many good things about that. So yeah, if you want to sit there and feel better, get into better nutrition, better rest, better exercise. Well, you need all three. You can't go and have a great workout and then eat junk food. It's just not going to go well for you. It is what it is. And sometimes people forget that. I knew some young kids, they come back from the gym and they asked them what they ate. Oh, I had some candy. I said, well, you kind of wasted all that work then. They were confused. I said, well, your body needs protein, needs clean carbs, rebuild all that muscle you tore up. Sugar don't do it. You will never build muscle with sugar. Never, 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 never. In case you didn't hear it the first time. So preparation is key when it comes to cooking. So I take time to filter the water because it's going to make a better product. I take time to kind of pre-season it. Cooking with the bacon is going to make those potatoes taste better. All this stuff kind of works one upon the other. And really, I use the Bear Creek soup as just a more of a helpful starter, but not the main ingredient. Now, it is standalone. You don't have to add this stuff to it. You can just do this and put it in the boiling water and have a good product. So by itself, it's fine. I'm not saying you have to do this to make it edible. You don't. It's a very good soup mix. I just like to enhance things. It's just kind of in my DNA, I guess. And it reflects with my workouts too, I could just go in there and work up to 225 and rep 225 all the time, and it would be perfectly healthy for me or anybody else. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good weight. It's a good exercise. It would do all those benefits I talk about. So you don't sit there and you don't have to go at it like I do. But it's just the way I am. I'm going to sit there and If I don't lift heavy, I don't feel like I worked out. That's just me. You know, a lot of times people get confused, especially trainers, where they're not paying attention to what their clients want. They're more of just what they want them to do. And so I always say that if a trainer doesn't ask you what your goals are, bam. Okay, gotta have one bad food in there, but you know, you're also on a prepper channel, you understand. Let me catch up on comments here. Thanks everybody for joining in. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I can work out indoors. I can do push-ups. I can do all that stuff. I have weights in that indoors and outdoors. Yeah. So I tell you, Sherbird, working out could get rid of that. It did for me. Working out, you work out about 90 minutes a day, 4 or 5 days a week, and you may find that stuff goes away. Well, just because it works for me doesn't mean it works for everybody. Well, first of all, I put my secret spices in here. This consistency looks like salt and pepper. And if you followed me for a while, you know it is. And what I do is I stir those babies up in there. So I really don't need to completely cook the potatoes. What I'm doing, I'm getting them kind of seasoned in. So the bacon grease cooked in there and the salt and pepper. Then I'll add it to the soup. And it keeps me from having to have the soup in there cooking for a long time. What's nice is it's something we can have today and probably have tomorrow too. So the spam we'll put in a little bit later because it takes a little bit longer for the potatoes to cook than it does for the spam, which is already pre-cooked. You just really need to warm it up. Let's see where we're at. Yep. Cayenne pepper is supposed to be good for digestive health. I do have that. I don't take it very often, but I do have it. And I take it whenever I think about it. And there's other spices that are good for different things, which I have covered from time to time. Moringa helps me greatly with breathing. And I can tell if I get away from it for a couple of days, definitely feel the results of not having it. So I have a little bit of an asthma because of a beetle that the DNR brought in that I'm very allergic to. So let's see. Make sure I get these cut small enough. Don't want them too small, but then again, I don't want them too large. I want them just right. And this is the fun part. I like to cook. People, I ain't got time to cook. Well, if you put the time and effort in it and get decent at it, you actually enjoy it. You know, like cooking, like baking cookies, stuff like that. And we like enjoying the fruits of our labor. And once again, give it a stir. And make sure I got enough spices. It is going to go into a soup. And then the salt I use is the pink Himalayan salt. The reason I use that is because it's not only rich in your sodium, but it's also has manganese, magnesium, and potassium in it also. And then this is the only thing I use that super burner for. This is I don't know if you can see that. That's the strongest burner I have on the stove. It's rated about 15,000 BTUs for boiling water. That one and put it on a smaller burner just to keep it simmering. So on the directions here, freezing rain. Yep, we got freezing rain too. So I'm just not going to drive on ice. I can't. The car will slide off the road. And it'll be just as bad coming home tonight. So it looks like I'll be taking today off. So slow cooked, home style flavor crafted with delicate herbs and savory spices. A classic creamy flavor. It is, I do like them. And basically you're bringing 8 cups of water to a rolling boil, whiskey in. Reduce heat to medium and simmer uncovered for 15 minutes. Stirring occasionally, salt and pepper to taste. So it's very easy to make. All right, I just like to add to it, but it is standalone. Nutritional wise, it has some potassium that you need, some iron, some calcium, 2 grams of protein, but definitely going to be more per serving. It says 8 servings per container. And of course, because it's a soup mix, it's high in salt. But remember, salt is not the enemy, sugar is. As I say, don't blame salt for what sugar did. Your body will basically get rid of any excess sugar or salt. All right, now I'll put the Spam in there now. And I'll have this on the ready. This will be added towards the end, but it doesn't need to be cooked. I'll kind of show you. So that's going to go in there. And it's searing in bacon grease, which is better than seed oil. Bring this up to a rolling boil. Once we get enough water in there. So probably about 1:30, I'll walk out the road again and see if it's just as bad as it was earlier. But even if it's not, it probably, for safety reasons, I hate to lose the pay, but it is what it is. Like I said, in this type of weather, they'll keep the main roads well salted, but these back roads, they don't do anything. Three days a week. There we go. Yeah, you have to keep that fun part. But usually 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week is enough to make good changes. I tell you, I learned to cook when I was 14. So I was the youngest of 6 kids, and no one else wanted to cook. Oh, you're in Will County, okay. Cherbury, you're actually pretty close to me. I'm originally from Mokina, so you and I got the same weather. I'm out here in Livingston County, I'm just down the road from you. So yeah, if you're by Shorewood, you live in Mokina, okay. Yeah, I know that. I remember Mokina was 2,000 people. I remember when they dug in at Route 80. I was a kid when they were doing that. I used to live off of Route 6 in Cedar Road there in New Lenox. Well, Mokina address, New Lenox number. If you needed police, you had to call county if you were just SOL. But oh, you're in Wilmington, okay. Yeah, we'd spend a lot of time there fishing off the Kankakee. We'd buy our bait at Angelo's, and then later on our beer. I think at the Burcott's now, is it? But yeah, I'm well familiar with Wilmington. Yep, New Lenox. We used to. The White Horse was my go-to place on the weekend. Sometimes TJ's, but usually the White Horse. It's a fancy place now. It wasn't when I was a kid, when I was younger. I haven't seen them lately, but yeah, I've seen that happen. I've also seen it where it's flooded. But yeah, Burcott's, yep. So I work out in Pontiac. So yeah, we're getting the same weather. You know what the weather is. Oh, don't worry about it. I can't spell either. I'm a science major. But even on a day like today, I can still get exercise in. And I got dumbbells. I do, I've got weights here in the house, down in the basement. I can do push-ups, all other good stuff. But tomorrow, time I head to work, all this foolishness should be over. So I'll work it out heavy from Tuesday through Friday, and then just gonna carry on. I worked yesterday, but yeah, I just don't. I'll go check the road if it's better. I'll think about it. But I can tell the ice is melting a little bit. Problem is, it's just gonna refreeze, and I haven't seen any sort of thing that looks like a salt truck come down here. So for safety reasons, and the fact I want to be able to get back home, I'm probably taking the day off. So I'm letting that get nice and warm and get this pre-opened. So I got my veggies, I got my potatoes and ham to go in there, bacon bits I can break up in there later once it gets cooking. And put this in, and if I wanted to make it a stew, I would add some elbow macaroni to it. But anytime I do that, it thickens it up, and then it's not a soup anymore. So this is as far as I'm going to go this time. It still should be a nice soup. No soup for you. So, oh boy. Yeah, well, they called the school off in this area. So that was kind of a good thing. So, Mom was home, and it seems every time that they call school off, they want me to come in early. And I get to spend time with the wife. What's going on here? Like when I used to sell appliances, and people would buy appliances and they want to deliver it on a certain day and a certain time range. And I said, well, we can tell you what day we'll be there, but we really can't tell you what time. And if they get insistent, I say, okay, well, for $100, we'll give you a 2-hour window. We'll rearrange our route just for you. Well, you can pay that. Then we'll be there Tuesday. they'd be going, well, I ain't got all day to be at home. I said, well, why'd you buy the house then? I mean, really, there's not a day that you're not home. You should just run a studio apartment. Didn't need a house. Eventually, they'd realize that they would have to pick a day, and then they'd wait until we got there. And I would tell them, don't be calling every 15 minutes asking where they're at, because we're not going to tell you. You know, well, so-and-so. I said, yeah, so-and-so does the same thing. Actually, they will tell you that their day for your area is Thursday, and that's the only day you liberate. You will have to be there Thursday. I'm telling you, pick any day out of the 7 days of the week to be home. You know, people coming into a retail store and talking to us like we don't know how the world works. Please, we do this every day. You buy appliances every 5 years. But it was kind of funny when I went to buy my appliances, I'm no longer in the business. You know, I could appreciate the young man who was selling the fridge was doing his job correctly. You know, heavy size restrictions where it's going, because the number one reason the fridge comes back is they bought a fridge too big for their opening. Number one reason. You know, oh, I got a standard size opening. No such animal. Refrigerators have gotten a lot bigger these days. 19 cubic foot used to be a big fridge. Now they're 28 to 31. They're bigger. But, you know, I told them, said, yep, this will fit. This is all I want. You know, same thing with the stove. Stoves are easier because they're standard size. So I was like, nope, I know everything I need, what I'm going to use. Hey, Simple Tony, how we doing? Good afternoon. We're making tater soup. So I got the water coming up to a rolling boil. I've got the potatoes and spam. Got all nice and seasoned here in baking grease and salt and pepper. And got my Bear Creek soup mix and one small can of peas and carrots. And that is going to make some nice, nutritious, delicious soup. And usually we'll sit there and we'll sprinkle some cheddar cheese on top of it. You know, we'll sit there and go with full Monty, as they would say. And basically, I'm like Share Bear. I'm iced in. But I'm on a back road, so it's not getting plowed. And the plow, it don't need to get plowed; it needs to get salted. The only way that's going to melt the ice. I'm looking at the wife's car, got a nice coat of ice on the windshield. So it tells me the road has the same thing. I walked out there earlier, and I did put that little short video of me slip sliding on the asphalt. I sent that to work. Let them know. Chances are I'm probably not going to be able to make it in. Which I would wish I could, but I'm not going to put my life or health at risk for it. That's just silly. That's just silly talk. I think you're going to knock out the background light here. There we go, much better. So if you have any questions on fitness or stuff like that, feel free to drop it in there. If you want to see some really good information on natural supplements, follow Casey Little Owl. She does an excellent job of that. I do have some videos out there on the advantages of your minerals and vitamins, which I think I'm going to redo. Last time I just reposted them, and I could just see how my technology has improved a little bit, and also my health. Back then, I was still fighting COVID. That one knocked me for a loop with the second term effects. But right now, I'm looking at a nice, classy. Here, I can show everybody. Oh, the winter wonderland. Now, this is all salted, but you can see that shimmer.